Again YouTube. Today, this time around, I want to talk about Alien Resurrection on the PlayStation 1. Obviously based on the movie, which came out in '97. This game didn't actually come out until December of the year 2000, so that's like nearly 4 years after the movie came out, which is a bit strange. It's made by a company called Argonaut Games, who was responsible for making, I think it was Croc 2, and there was like the early Harry Potter games, which obviously just from those games you know that they haven't got much of a track record really. But in this is 4 playable characters. Obviously Ripley, the main star of the movie, Cole, who is Winona Ryder's character, Christy, who was the guy with the double pistols, and De Stefano, who is probably the most uninteresting character in the whole film. Like why couldn't we have Ron Perlman's character? You know, what the hell was going on with that? Like, to me, he was the coolest character in the movie, so why couldn't he have been in this? That's a bit of a shame, really. At the start of the game, obviously you play as Ripley. You start off in a holding cell where she's being kept, and as the aliens have broken out, everyone on the ship is trying to escape, so her cell opens as well. But something explodes right next to her, so you start off like your life bar is like really low at the start of the game. So the first thing you've got to do is find the medipack, and along the way you'll just be looking for key cards and weaponry along the way, and obviously key cards to progress further into the game. You'll be able to tell from the start that this game is very slow paced. I mean, there is quite a bit of build up, but when I say slow paced, I mean like you can't really run. You can't really run from any threat, like whether it's an alien or a marine or whatever. I mean, a lot of the time you will just be obviously looking for key cards, but you'll get more important objectives, like you have to jettison an overheated escape pod. Like you have to go around and collect like these 4 detonators and put them into this keypad thing, and then it releases it so like the ship doesn't explode, and that bit's on a timer, which first few times I've done it was quite annoying. But you have to go around and destroy the other clones as well of Ripley, which is quite cool in a way. But you only see, like, you destroy a few as Ripley and you destroy a few as Cole. If there's one thing that I will mention, it's in this game you really have to conserve your ammunition for your shotgun or your pulse rifle or whatever it is that you've got, because like progressing through the game and saving your ammo is absolutely key, because I lost count how many times I got further and further into the game and I was just saving it on one save file instead of maybe 2 or 3 different save files, because I ended up getting to certain points where I would encounter like 3 aliens at once, maybe a few more, and because I had no ammo to fight off all 3 of them, I literally had to restart the game all over again, and you know that becomes really annoying and really troublesome, because you just need to conserve that ammo, because if you have to do it as many times as I had to, then you will just get really annoyed and you will end up being put off and just putting the game down altogether. There's also no map system either. Now, the environments look very similar. Obviously it's a spaceship, so it's quite easy to get lost sometimes. I mean, obviously it's different in certain areas, but I mean, with no map system, it does make the game a bit harder. I mean, Alien Trilogy had a perfectly fine map system. I don't know why this game couldn't have used one. It would have made the game a little bit easier, I suppose. But you know, not everyone might agree with me on that one, but that's just my personal feeling towards it. You know, if an older game had a map system, and it worked out fine, then why couldn't you just do it with this one? You know, I can't find an excuse for that really.
Now I'm gonna talk about the weapons now. You get your standard pistol, which is pretty much useless if you're gonna go against well, more than one alien, purely because it takes at least like 12 shots to fucking kill one, and if you are gonna fucking fight one with it, I suggest you've got a good enough distance between you and the alien, and so you can walk back and shoot, because as I said before, the game is quite slow paced. Like, obviously you can't run backwards, and the alien that's storming towards you will come towards you will come to you faster than you will walking backwards. You get the double barrel shotgun that the character Reese in the movie uses. I'd only really use this for close quarters and in tight places as well. It is a good weapon, but as I said, close range. I mean, if you shot an alien from that's quite a bit of distance, you're not going to hit the thing at all. And once you get another weapon, you're going to use it less and less and less. The next one is the laser rifle. That cuts through aliens like butter. It is probably the best weapon on the game, but you only get it on one level and only one character uses it, and that's Cole. Another thing, that the battery pack or the ammunition for it, it depletes very very quickly, but I'm guessing that's because the weapon is as powerful as it is. Next up, the pulse rifle, which everybody knows what the pulse rifle is if you know what the Alien films are. It doesn't look anything like the pulse rifle that, you know, we learn to love and know today. It's probably going to be your best friend during the game though. It'll be the weapon that you'll use more than anything, most likely. It's I think pretty much every character in the game uses it as well. And ammo for the thing is pretty much everywhere. So yeah, you'll rarely run out of ammunition for it. Next is the flamethrower. Now the flamethrower is probably the most underpowered and useless weapon on the game. It's like the distance, the range of the flame is just so poor. It's unbelievable. If you're gonna use it, I suggest you use it against some facehuggers or something like that. Because especially if you shoot facehuggers with it, you'll hear them screech a little bit if you're shooting with anything else. They won't make that noise, so that was a bit strange. Another thing, if you try and shoot an alien dead with it, you'll use up half the canister of fuel before you'll even kill the thing. Another thing is that if you shoot an alien with it, it'll just run off. It'll run off and then it'll come back towards you again. So it's all a bit pointless, really. But yeah, it's just a fucking completely useless weapon. Another weapon you get is an electric rifle, which as far as I know, as far as I can remember, you only get it at the end of the game, which is when you're fighting the newborn, or maybe it's a little bit before you fight the newborn. I'm not too sure, can't remember. But I mean, it seems pretty powerful because it manages to knock the newborn on its ass, and this fucking thing's like 10 foot tall. And especially if you hold down the R1 button, if you hold it down, it like produces a charge. So when you release the R1 button, like it'll just like be one big blast of electricity. That's not a bad weapon, but it's just a shame you didn't get more use out of it when you did have it. The grenade launcher as well, which you would have thought the grenade launcher would be on a pulse rifle, but it's not, which is stupid. Grenade launcher, I found it quite troublesome to use really, because you had to, well, when you fired it, it would take like 4 to 5 seconds to explode once it hit the floor. So to me that kind of renders the thing slightly useless, because you know you have to have the exact precise timing, otherwise it's a waste of a grenade, and you know you've left yourself wide open to be attacked. So I mean I want to say I like it because it's a fucking grenade launcher, for fuck's sake, but I can't, because it's just, I can't validate it being a good weapon. I mean, you could only really use it against like a batch of alien eggs, or a stationary alien that's just stood still. You get a rocket launcher as well, which is pretty much the same thing as the grenade launcher, except it's a lot more easy to use. And it's about the projectile like fires a lot faster as well, so that's always a plus. Yeah, that's all the weapons. That's all the weapons in the game. It'd be nice to have a few more, I think, but unfortunately that's all we've got. I'm going to talk about the aliens themselves. You only get really like one type of xenomorph really, and that's just like the standard drone / warrior xenomorph. Well, I wouldn't say unfortunately, but they come across as being a bit scripted, because like they'll jump from wall to wall and they'll land in the same place every time. So if you get killed by them, you know where they're gonna pop from next time. They've got, you've only got like 3 different types of attack: slashing you, a tail. They can hit you with the tail, and obviously the famous inner jaw. One alien on its own isn't too much of a problem. Even with just a pistol, you can take it down with, I wouldn't say with ease, but you shouldn't have too much trouble taking out one of them. But when there's more than one, it definitely gets a bit more intense. Depending on what weapon you're using at that particular time, obviously. The facehuggers. Now, the facehuggers in this game, I don't give a shit what anybody says. They are fucking scary and frightening in this game. Sometimes they'll be in eggs, sometimes they'll just appear from fucking nowhere. In the previous Alien games, like, the facehuggers would just cause damage. They just cause damage to you, but in this, if they get on your face, they will impregnate an alien into your chest. And you've got about a little over a minute to find this item called an auto-dock unit, which removes the alien from your chest. Obviously, if you don't do that in time, the alien is going to rip out your chest. When it comes to killing the facehuggers though, don't waste your shotgun ammo or your pulse rifle ammo. Just use your pistol or the flamethrower if you've got it. It'll take about 3 shots from the pistol to die, but make sure that it's dead, because I've lost count how many times I've shot them, thought they were dead, turned around 1 minute and it's just like, instead of lying on its back like that, it'll just jump back on its fucking legs again and it'll just come after you again. So make sure that its legs go like that when you fucking shoot it. That's when you know it's dead. The Alien Queen. Now, the Alien Queen, I personally think the design for the Alien Queen in this game was really, really shit. It looked a little bit ridiculous. its head just didn't look right whatsoever, and you encounter it and you kill it halfway through the game. So when that happened, I almost thought to myself, is this the end of the game now? And it's not even a hard boss either. It is a boss, but it's not really a challenge to fucking kill it. You could probably kill it with a pistol if you needed to. It's just fucking dance around it and shoot. That is literally it. The newborn, which is the last boss in last boss in the game. You only encounter this like on the very last level of the game. The newborn can't be killed with any weapons that you've got. Like obviously, as I mentioned before, the electric rifle will stun it and knock it down, but that's the best you're gonna get. Either keep doing that till it retreats, or you shoot it down to the floor to give yourself enough time to do whatever it is that you need to do, whether it be like turning valves or pressing a button and getting to a certain place at a certain time or whatever, and eventually you end up lowering it into an airlock, and you find yourself in a little control room. You press the button and it gets sucked out of the airlock. Instead of in the film, it gets painfully sucked out of a fucking window, which I think would actually be really funny to see in like PS4. The further you get into the game, naturally it gets a lot harder. I mean, especially when you start playing as Di Stefano. It's a little over halfway through the game. It's weird. Like, you get enough ammo to do what you need to do, but like at the points at that on that mission particularly where you end up taking damage, like regardless of how quickly you react to, you know, evading an alien's attack or not. Like, there was this particular moment where I was like, there's a box there, but there's like a stack of boxes here, and I'm walking around with my pulse rifle like this, and it's like the second it sees you, it like pounces out, and it gets you every time. And there's another bit slightly after that where you go through a door and an alien just pounces on you again, and like that's the one part in the game where I end up getting really frustrated and I end up having to put it down for a little bit. The other bit is when the stages where you go in underwater and you start swimming. Like, by that point in the game, that's something completely new. You know, you didn't ever encounter anything like that earlier in the game. But I found them bits really frustrating because, well, from what I can remember, it was just really sort of, you know, disorientating. Like, I found myself swimming to one location and then swimming to a next location, and then just realising that I'd just gone on a complete circle. Like, I mean, I did like that new element that the game brought, but I mean, it's Alien Resurrection, there's a swimming bit in it, they're going to have to put a swimming section into it, aren't they? So, but yeah, that bit was a bit frustrating. I mean, this game is very dark. I mean the atmosphere it produces is everything that an Alien game needs to be scary. I mean, that's why I'm a bit puzzled to think that, you know, this game got really pretty low ratings actually. Me personally, I think it's a really underrated game. You know, it's not perfect. It does have its flaws, but with a lot of games like that, you just have to learn to adapt to its crap factor or its crappiness or whatever. But all in all, I think it's a good game. I mean, everyone else might not agree with me, but I don't give a shit. This isn't your video and it's not your channel. So, but yeah, again, that's all I'm going to say about it really. Thanks very much for watching the video. If you've managed to get this far and I haven't bored you to death with how uninformative I am. And one last statement from me. The game was better than the movie.